Now, I do think I'm still in Facebook jail, so if they don't let y'all in, I'm trying to let people in now. Peace, God.
G bless OG. I
What's up?
seen you was live, so I figured I'd smoke one with you. We was doing the same thing. You
Oh,
feel me?
you know how I do, man.
Nah, you.
It's a 420. It's a 420 night. Late night red eye.
So we got some. So we got some sacrament, a little sacrament. You feel me? 420.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was just
you
doing.
got any questions?
Shit. Um, I don't know. I'm third generation 274. If that do anything, you know what I'm saying?
Big box.
You know.
215, 19.
Um, I arrived around Milwaukee in Chicago area. What's that about? I mean, really, like ran around the cities around. What's that? 94.
That's what I was in the county in Cook County in '94.
Uh-huh. And I got introduced to the culture. You know what I mean? Through my step family. You know what I mean? Jamal Joseph's my uncle. You know what I mean? That's the same as Pop. You feel me? I go by the name of Righteous. You know what I mean? But I'm familiar with you. You know?
For sure, for sure.
And
Yeah,
that man,
I'm
what
ready.
I mean, if anything, ring a bell. I'm just trying to, I'm just ringing bells right now. You feel me?
Hey, what Black Rob say? Coward ass niggas don't ring no bells. I been snatching niggas up by their coat lapels.
I like, I
Yeah.
like how you talk. You know what I'm saying? I call that spirit talk.
So look, I'm
Mm-hmm.
7'4", but a lot of the light codes that we use to communicate with our people was learned from studying 5% doctrine, Nuwabian doctrine, um, Keystone doctrine. They all gave me their literature, right?
Damn.
And when I was able to become familiar with how each tribe communicated their higher knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
then a whole new world opened up to what I was looking at in the graffiti art, in the music, right? Because I started hearing stuff in the music that
Mm-hmm.
average person didn't hear, you
Yeah.
know. But that's from knowing so many different pieces to different parts of the culture. Because
Mm-hmm.
they all think we was supposed to be one tribe at one time. But we've been broke up into tribes since we've been here.
Yeah, and just to jump on that, I concur. And with my experience, like on my journey, like I said, it took me, to commune, with the bosses and the G's, and kept me on the right side. You know what I mean, and taught me, that knowledge. You know what I mean, but and I give that up to the Holy Spirit and the ancestors.
You know, my favorite law, my favorite law is aid and assist.
Mm-hmm. Aid and assist, right?
Aid and assist any and all righteous brother and any and all righteous endeavors.
G bless. Nah, but what you just said something real divine and real central to the understanding of what the whole community needs to start understanding of what we are experiencing through our senses on our journey and community. with the spirit, but I call the Holy Spirit. But I got that from my people. You feel me?
Yeah,
And my
that's
big
one of
brother.
Malachi. That's one of Malachi York names, Ruhu Kadosh, the Holy Soul. Ain't that something? Yeah.
All right, Malachi. I got introduced to Malachi when I was 16. I was with the Geechees in Charleston, South Carolina, North Charleston to be exact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy I was in high school, but this guy I used to work with, he was a young man though still, but he was in the Air Force. So he used to go out there, you know, to the pyramids in Georgia all the time and come back and report back and give the pamphlets out. And I used to receive them. And I've been studying for a long time. You feel me? So I'm around 16, so I received Malachi's books. You know, what it did was it just opened another portal and expanded my boundaries of looking at the universe, you know, and seeing the truth. And that boy spit.
Yeah.
That boy, because he was spitting the same things I was learning. And this was the time we ain't had no internet this time. So
Yeah.
how did I learn? Well, one thing, first and foremost, you know, my grandparents and my parents, you know, where I come from, you know. But then my father's library, you feel me? So, you know, we had to do things like that. Like it was a secret thing. And we couldn't even talk to everybody about this stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
You know, we get taught that too. 'Cause you can't
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody everything all the time because everything ain't for everybody.
You still can, but the veil is more down, so we speak it. But I mean, it's time to speak. I guess the veil down. That's the answer. But yeah, back in the day, you couldn't even do it like this. We was real quiet about our things, but and that gave us a lot of trauma, also. But it built a strength in us, those who endured, because a lot of what we went through, especially say grandma and them boys had to go crazy. All the craziness going on around them. And while they was going crazy, because they were so talented and so gifted from the talents of the Most High, the true self, the senses, you know what I mean? And it was a battle against to keep them down and to keep them think they crazy because trying to keep a veil up. But they can't now, so we speak, and that's why I respect you and I see what's going on. And all them, they all know. I see them all lie. You see that eye? I'm talking a little bit, but nah, I'm on the low still. You feel me?
For sure, for sure. You know how I
But
go.
I appreciate it. I
All right.
appreciate it. But I'm going to let you get to the people. And I'm going to just go
All
ahead and smoke with you, man.
right.
Be blessed. I
For
appreciate
sure.
it.
Keep puffing. I'm take another caller in.
All right. And we in tune. I got
All right,
you. Be blessed. Peace. Salam.
boss. Okay, let's go in here. Go back to this was the first person, Keisha Williams. I sent you the invite. Hey,
Peace, Unc. How you doing?
how you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm doing. Question I wanted to ask. So Bobby Hemmett stated that the ones who are not us but look like us, the hidden hand, that they came at the beginning of creation, or they came when the original creation came.
Right.
My two questions are how and why.
Well, the how is they was a reflection of us becoming mortals,
Ah,
right? They
okay.
was just so what end up happening is and when you create something, you're gonna create an opposite, right? The
Yes.
creator is responsible for his creation.
Mm.
So if you create a righteous being on the planet, the default, we in the law opposites, then
Yes, sir.
the unrighteous will automatically manifest.
Okay.
Okay, that's the how. The other question was the why.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you need two opposing forces to propel the growth. You need the righteous to be encountered by unrighteousness in order to bring their righteousness to the surface. If you never confronted opposition, you have no way of knowing how strong you really are.
Factual.
So the why is to push us to become our best self while we overcome the snares and the traps that the unrighteous set in our path.
Okay.
So it's just a manifestation of universal law at work. So when righteous come, unrighteousness follow. When you try to do something good for people, other people gonna try to find something dirty about it, bad. They gonna try to tear your character down, everything they can to stop you from speaking the truth, standing in the position of right, because you're in the superior jurisdiction. Once you enter your power, they can't do nothing but fall in line with the order of the spiritual ranking system. Spirit artificial is at the bottom of the spiritual ranking system, but their power is opposite equivalent to the ones at the top.
Okay.
So the ones periodically will topple the ones at the top as soon as they fall off balance. The off balance part came with what we call genetic tampering. And this is what Bobby Hemmett referred to as the great debauchery.
Yes.
When they start messing with the human DNA, creating chimeras. Most people don't even know that at some point their DNA was tampered with and they got animal DNA fused with human DNA from laboratory experiments done in the Indus Valley. So now it's just like Genghis Khan DNA is in a sizable portion of all of the men on the planet, his Y chromosome.
That I did not know.
Yeah, Google it. It's easy to look up because
Absolutely, I will.
he was his family, the Khans, Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, all them, they were the only ones making babies. So the bloodline carries the Y chromosome to a high percentage. But when you go to primordial Adam, primordial Adam has a definite date of about 60,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the
Yes.
common Y chromosome link all males on the planet have. Right? And so when you go back before primordial Adam, the number of men was so small on the planet that it was easy to lose a strain of Y chromosome because men was fewer than they are now. And women on the planet outnumber men just by gender alone, something like 4 or 6 to 1. But when you add in the gender confusion to it, then the numbers increase. And then you got to add up to all of the ones that defected from the societies and became monks. Then the number increases again. They become priests, vows of celibacy. So the choice picking for a lot of the women has been dwindled down to scraps and leftovers in the genetic pool. Yeah. So it's very few prime, genetically prime males for the women to have uh, strong children into the future. Not a lot of them. It's a lot of guys can make babies, but a lot of them don't have what's called prime DNA or royal DNA.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that makes it where it's even fewer. The higher you go up in rank, it's even less men um, that's qualified for the women of the higher ranks. So this is when the women became polyandry became polygamy. Used to
Mm.
have used to have men trainers, and the women used to know how to use one man to make the other man act right in the relationship, and she had a harem of men. They called that condition polyandry.
Yes.
And this is how you dealt with domestic abusers. He had to live in those situations because if he put his hands on that woman, all the rest of the men gonna lump his ass up.
As they should.
Right. So, but only certain women were psychologically equipped to deal with a harem of men, and she knew how to use each one of them's position in order to keep the rest of them in line. That's not common. The average
No.
woman, the average woman can't function under those conditions, and I call them nigga trainers. She turned a nigga into a man. And they not and most of the men scared of them women. I'm talking about they don't want to touch her, they don't want to go by her. I'm like they intimidated by her presence. You see certain women walk in the room and they start dropping the men start dropping their head because they know she's not malleable, controllable like your average woman. She gonna make him either get in line or one of the other men around her gonna support her to get him in line. And he can sense it, but he don't know what he's sensing. So he won't talk to her. He gonna get away from her. She gonna make him do right. He don't want that. If if she gonna make him do right, then that means that he gonna have to be a real man. He gonna have to learn how to do something. He gonna have to make something of himself. And then that's where the conflict in relationships in the modern era come in, because you got a bunch of beta males think they alphas.
That's factual. And I would say that I experienced that something similar to that when I open my mouth and speak. Like based on my looks alone, I'm a petite woman. I'm 100 pounds.
Now, I
But when
mean,
I open my mouth,
but that
go
energy,
ahead.
that big mama energy. Most of the big mamas, if you look at them, they be the littlest thing with that little bun up there with her little gray streaks in it. A buck 05, and she's still big mama. She's still gonna make you be about your business, or you ain't gonna be able to function around her. And if you act out of line, it's gonna be somebody. The dude might not even know her. Hey man, what she just tell you to get away from her, man? Go find you some, move around, get you somewhere to go. It's
Yeah.
the instincts that we forget that we have drive us to behave a certain way in the presence of certain people. Certain women make men go sexually insane. They can't
Hmm.
control themselves.
Hmm.
And then you got other women that all the men trying to get away from her. And it ain't because she ugly and unattractive. It's because they scared she gonna make a man up. He can sense the difference.
True. Factual. Okay. May I ask one more question? I'm sorry, and I'll keep it brief. I promise.
Okay.
Why, in your opinion, why were men created?
Earth was being invaded by a different species, and the women had a meeting and said that if they wanted to be able to fight a physical conflict, they needed men with stronger, denser muscles for the combat. And what made them follow through is they also found that the men would be good for companionship.
Hmm.
So they wanted protectors and they wanted lovers.
Huh. I'm not surprised that isn't a surprise, I've been asking this question to my spirit team for a while, and I thought I had the answer, but I didn't feel satisfied, and that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. I went through
All right.
that. I went through that when I was going through the "what the hell am I here" phase. What I'm here for? Yeah. So when you keep asking yourself, you're gonna find the answer wherever it's at. And you might just because you ask don't mean you're gonna like the answer.
I know that part. I definitely know that.
Yeah. A lot of people want the answer to be pleasing to them. It's not always like the worst thing I found out is they look like us, but they ain't us. That hurt my feelings so bad. I mean, that cut me to the bone marrow.
I think I cried when I found that out.
I, I was too hurt to cry.
Understood.
I was too hurt to cry. I was just like, this is unbelievable. And
Understood completely.
they standing next to us the whole time, and they the problem.
But it makes sense. Like when I truly, it was like, of course it makes sense, man. But thank you, thank you for taking my call. I can't see you; it's a blank screen, but I'm glad I get to talk to you.
Oh well, I can see you clear. You can look at
Yeah, I
it on
can't.
you can look at it on the replay though. It should come up on the replay. I don't know why it's
Okay.
blank over there, but I am
The
in
last time.
Instagram. I am in Instagram jail though.
Well, that makes sense, and I don't think they really like me because of the stuff I be looking and asking questions on. Because the last time I tried to get in your live, they kept blocking me.
I know. I just tried to let you in like 3 or 4 times before I let the brother in a minute ago. And
I knew it. I knew
yeah.
because I kept seeing it acting up. I was like, they on this bull. But let me stop. All right, thank you so much.
All right, sweetie. I'll talk to you later.
All right, love you, Unc.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, they're infiltrators. I mean, what make this brother gonna come in? I'll try somebody else. Into wisdom. Wisdom is justified her children. Maybe she didn't slip up. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm just
You got a
anxious.
question?
I have no question. I'm just anxious to speak with you and
Oh,
happy
okay.
to
Well,
see you.
what's on your mind?
I'm at work actually, but I took the opportunity because I've been waiting for you to come live and I haven't seen you. And I kept saying, "Where's Uncle Rod?" And look at you. You pop up today when I'm actually at work. Absolutely love you.
Thank you. I've been here. I just been. I came back. I had to decompress from my trip, and I had to get my spiritual download so I can know which direction to move next.
Okay. Understandable.
I was
Well, I just
told
want to
today to
say,
get up, get on live.
oh, Okay. Well, I just wanted to say I love you. You're one of my favorite Scorpios, and
Thank you.
I'm gonna continue to listen to your Q&A.
Okay, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye.
Let's see who next. I cannot too. Man, this would be funny if Tupac popped up on this one. He's got
Hey, what's up, my brother? Salute, OG. What's
you
good, man?
got it, baby. You got it. I like your heavy voice, man. That reminds me of when men was men.
Thank you, man. I spoke to you one time. It's been a while, man, but I know you speak to a lot of people and
I
stuff.
think I remember
Um,
you though.
okay, yeah, I drive the truck,
Oh yeah.
but yeah. But yeah, so the sister that you was talking to, that you just answered a question about the how the women made the men and stuff like that. I've been really studying Akhenaten for probably like the last several years, but I've been making breakthroughs all the time. But anyway, I kind of had a theory about why he portrayed himself with the female parts, and I was kind of thinking that he was more portraying the divine feminine or the superiority of the female based on like what you were just saying in response to the sister's question, like and trying to show people that that and also I was thinking that maybe the divine feminine is it's not necessarily like male or female. It's like genderless,
Oh,
but it just so happens that since females can make their own child if they have the chi energy and the sacral chakra, then maybe the divine feminine just appears to be a woman, and that the males and females as they are today have the same type of length of progression. You know what I mean? And but anyway, I just want to know what you think about that.
I want you to try something on and see how it feels. You ever occurred to you that Akhenaten had himself depicted as an androgyny to show you that he derived his power from the matriarchs?
Okay,
The
okay,
term pharaoh is feminine. It means,
okay,
and by inference, it's referring to the woman as the light of the house.
okay.
It's referring specifically to who's ever sitting on the queen seat is seated as the reigning Isis, also known
Okay.
also known as Mary. Hail Mary,
Exactly,
Mother of God, blessed art thou
exactly.
among women. Ta Mary is the land of Mary, which is the land of Isis, which is what we call the Africa, the motherland. But it's really not. America is the true motherland, with the original first temple of Isis was in the Grand Canyon.
Mm, word, word.
So
Yeah, that's deep.
Hatshepsut wore a beard. She was a
Mm,
matriarch that came into power off of her father's line. So the
mm.
priests say, how do we leave for posterity a way for them to know that Hatshepsut was the heir off her father's side? And they say, put her in a beard. In the South,
Damn.
we got a term. Big Mama got on man shoes. That means the shit about to go down right now. She addressing a serious matter. If it get more serious than that, we say Big Mama got on man shoes and Big Mama got Big Papa gun. That
That's
mean
right.
everybody
That's right.
mount up. It's time to tear this mother up. But We don't use those terms no more. But they still in the culture where we'll hear it from time to time in a movie. We might run across it in a book, and we be like, why do that sound familiar? Because it used to be like a battle cry. When the little kids in the house, the uncles is working all day some of them in the barn, some of them in the field, some of them out hunting. So when they when Big Mama go in to address a matter and she put on man shoes, that's so the little kids can go tell all the uncles, Big Mama got on man shoes. That means drop what you're doing, there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
And if they see her with Big Papa gun and they run out there and tell them uncles, Big Mama got on man shoes and she got Big Papa gun, they all grabbing they firearms. They know what's going down.
True indeed. True indeed. Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. Just one last little question. Like I felt like I was working on a book, but I really wasn't. I really wasn't because it's just more of me contemplating.
Y'all
But
working on the book. It's
I
called Your
tuned
Book of
in.
Life. Whatever you put in it, it's your book.
Exactly. I had subscribed to the Billy Carson channel, and I was actually watching some of his stuff. He got this Egyptian mystery school. It's pretty cool. But like just for one split second on the screen, it had these the keys to Orion or the keys to Sirius. I forget which one. But one of the points was activating the 7 chakras. And that's part of like the thing I've been contemplating on as far as like putting together not only the chakras, but the planets as well as the 7 sins and the 7 virtues, connecting all that together. And so, when I was looking through all the info and stuff, they said that on Billy Carson's channel, and some other guy said that this was referred to back in the day as the 7 snakes, and it just may have all of its individual things encompassed in it. And I remember you spoke one time about the importance of the 7 virtues, and so basically, I feel like that is extremely important that everybody kind of get this, because I feel like in the story of Jesus, he said the basics were love your neighbor and then love God, basically. But I feel like one layer deeper than that would come your 7, right? Just to go right past that. And I feel like that should be on display just as important as if people are there's a lot of Christians out here. I come from a Christian family, and so stuff I talk about, they done rejected that my whole life. I'm used to it. But I think that's just the next layer of understanding as far as spirituality, because for it to say that it's one of the keys to Sirius, I feel like there's some type of magical type of powers associated with imbuing yourself with, you can say, the values, and the values will give you the strength to perform the virtues. And then that'll pretty much have a karmic effect on you, to where in India, they call the superpowers the cities, HICDHIS, the cities, which would be a supernatural power, but it could be any accomplishment. And so how you start getting the cities as a byproduct of the presence of God, right? And so I think that this 7 snake thing is extremely important. And I guess I just wanted to know what you thought about that, like filtering it through you. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the Nagas spirit.
Okay. Okay.
The Nagas are called Ethiopian rulers. But we forget that Ethiopia also encompassed India. India was once called Eastern Ethiopia.
That's a major key, brother. Damn. That's
right.
a major
So
key.
the reason why is both of them is the land of Enki. Enki is he ruled the Absu, which is sub-Saharan Africa, um, going up to Ethiopia, and then he ruled over India and the connecting lands between it's through Iran going into India,
Mm,
right? So those was the lands of Enki. The Dravidians of the Afro-wearing Dravidians of India is the original royal family of India. They're the real Aryans. They call them Dravidians or the Untouchables, and that's because Enlil took over and put his melanated, straight-haired sons and daughters on the throne to take the power from Enki. That was all
damn.
part of the Babylonian conquest of the earth, the Vimanas Wars, the Vedic Wars, and the wars of the Great Atlan that was drawn
That,
into those wars.
hold on. That just wanted to say that explains the whole caste system, right? They have it not only in India, but it's all over the world. Because I've been to India before, about 10 years ago, and I saw the dark, the blackest dark people. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Some of them
blackest.
purple, some of them purple.
Like I'm gonna send you a picture a little bit later. But this lady was so dark, it was crazy. But there's a lot of dark skin, but people know that. But I'm just saying, I've been there
The
to see that.
the
But
shocker comes when they find people me and your complexion with straight hair and slanty eyes in China.
yeah, they there.
Yeah, they in the Philippines too.
Yeah, and it explains, like, if you talk about Akhenaten, the the priesthood of Amun, right? I feel personally like that was the
Akhenaten
whatever
was the
you,
priesthood of the Aten.
yeah, he was going against them, and I
He was
just
going
feel like
against the
if
ones who wanted to keep the God self unknown to the human. That's the Amun priesthood. And if they keep the God self concealed from the human won't never aspire to a God-like potential, right? It's a thinking man's game. So you give them recreation and sport to distract them from the development of the self in the intellectual and spiritual capacity, and you get them to focus on their physical and sexual prowess. You take them from higher chakra resonance to lower chakra frequencies, and then you teach them to keep incanting Amen or Amun,
Mhm.
which tells the inner God to remain hidden. And that's why in the book it says, shine your light into the world. What good is a candle if it's under a basket, right? Because you hiding your light. They telling you about the Amun spell, but they not telling you what it is.
So
So
every
when you go to
time you say
church,
that, amen,
yeah,
where it's a spell
right.
invoking in Lil, basically,
Well, it's
and
not
or whatever.
invoking. It's binding. It's a binding spell on the self.
Damn, damn.
You putting yourself in a conjure. You telling yourself to keep your God concealed from the world because the world is not ready to receive the God being.
Hmm.
So you have to keep yourself in that spell till somebody come along and say, Amun me to keep your inner God hidden. I tend me to let your inner God be seen as the sun at high noon.
Exactly, exactly. And so that's why I latched on to that name a long time ago, because I just want to put that energy out there. Um, uh, I just feel like this organized religion has been twisted, just like back in that day. Those different Netaru's that they had, I think that their true meaning had been forgotten, because they are aspects of God, but I think they was twisting the game on the people, and the people were confused with all these guys, and so that's why I think the family and all Queen Ty and all them saw that, and I think that that's why he did that, went back to one God, because these different aspects of it, y'all don't even understand what that even means. Y'all just buying trinkets, and it's a market going on, the priests are rich and all this type shit going on, right?
Right. That's
But
all.
so I
That's all money magic. Those are rituals that they do. That's why they take up collections in church after you
damn,
pay the tax man.
damn,
So this is why the priesthood stay wealthy and the commoners stay poor. Between the tax man and the priest, about 70% of your income is being consumed. That ain't even counting inflation yet. So
exactly.
really, we living on less than 1% of what we supposed to be living on.
Damn. Yeah, you were the first person that introduced me to that term of Babylonian money magic, and
Yeah,
it, it,
people
it
think I be making it up until you look it up.
it's real, and it goes deeper than just what we see as having money or not having money, or these. No, it's actually like spells and stuff. Like we don't even know like what money really is. You know, like it goes deeper. So when you introduced me to that term, it made me think about money different. You know what I'm saying? And it's way deeper than just the your bank account or the paper. It's way deeper than that shit. And that's why they got them faces on the denominations and shit. That's deep too. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
invoking the spirit of the dead.
Man, yeah.
That's called necromancy, incorporated
Ah,
in
shit.
the money magic to reinforce the power of it. You ever heard of a book called The Richest Man in Babylon?
No.
Look it up. It's The Richest Man in Babylon. The richest man in Babylon is a glimpse into Babylonian money magic.
Mm, damn. Yeah, I'm
Jews
about to
been
look at that.
teaching it ever since the captivity of the so-called Jews in Israel.
Uh-huh.
This is, I mean, not in Babylon. The Babylonian captivity, they wrote the money magic, the sex magic, and the blood magic in the Talmud and the Mishnah. And this is why
Damn.
they don't give it to converts. Converts only get the Torah, the law, right? Because the law is how they keep the other operational rituals secret. They use the law as the prevailing influence on the conduct of the people as a control of the goyim, the chattel, the Lulu
Damn.
Amalu.
Damn.
They talk about all this stuff in the Sumerian tablets, but most people will overlook it because the way that they talk, they didn't talk like we talk.
Okay.
So when we translating, a whole lot of information is getting lost in translation. When they talking about um, the the cows was too loud, they talking about the women, the matriarchs. They was referring to as the heifers, and when Enlil was saying they was too loud because they telepathy, that he couldn't stop them from telepathically riding because they control the
Damn.
mitochondrial, and the mitochondrial frequency is where the human hive is linked through. That's why you have to be approved by women in order to receive your telepathic right to communicate in the women's hive. It's a lot of women gotta approve you in order to initiate you into the telepathic communication among the sisterhood. Men, it's difficult for men to get in because we got that masculine bravado, and
Mm-hmm.
we not always balanced because of it. Because under the patriarchy, we taught to rule. Masculine is to rule with an iron fist. That's not what masculine is, right?
Right.
We know that the
Right.
feminine is love and compassion. The masculine is discipline and order.
Mm.
If you put
Damn.
them together, your discipline and your order is tied to the love and the compassion. Therefore, you can be better at communicating across gender barriers where you don't have the same relationships problems that the masculine that's influenced by the patriarchy have. And this is why you see it looked like we just started having relationships 20 years ago because everybody complaining about the relationship. The problem is in the relationship, there is no relations. Nobody can relate to the other person. because we taught to see only our perspective. So
Exactly.
when you start studying the communication of men and women, you find that men communicate with bravado and women communicate more from compassion until you piss them off. Then they communicate with vile venom.
It's like
And
that
that's when,
small dot in the yin and yang.
yeah.
That
So the proper balance is for a man to find the female that can complement where he weak, and he can complement where she weak, and they make an agreement to just work together. And the love is going to grow from that union naturally. And
yeah.
you can't. It don't matter. It don't matter where you get her from.
Mm.
It matters about if you can help her to see her gifts as a divine feminine versus the curse of being a feminist patriarchal influence woman. The doctrine is different, the communication is different, and the understanding between the genders is different when you operate from those higher standards. But before you can hold somebody else to them, you got to hold yourself to them first. And that's where everybody dropped the ball because they want everybody else to be accountable, but they don't want to be accountable. I can hold you accountable, but you can't hold me accountable.
Damn.
That's double standards. The double standard is the direct result of the patriarchy, because the patriarchy recognized that the feminine is necessary for the future of a species, but they try to dominate the feminine so that they control the direction that the species go that benefit them.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a using game. It's a sweetheart swindle.
But see, that's why I was saying that divine feminine is like not even male or female, because I feel like when you go into male and female, now you're talking polarity and gender, which they're defined by their opposites. So it's like the woman is the receiver while the man is the giver. But then on the higher level, on the singularity, it's like neither applies to neither. And so I feel like when women fell, like you were explaining in that last answer you gave that lady, it's like they had to decide to make men because of conflict happened. But if we're in a state of ultimate peace, there's no need for men or women, just that the divine feminine appears as a woman because she's able to conceive her own child, and so she needs breasts and hips, etc. And it goes back to Akhenaten's portrayal of himself. But anyway, go ahead. My bad, dog.
Yeah. So the divine masculine is the perfect complement to the divine feminine. It's
Mm,
like sex energy and spirit energy is twins.
mm,
One goes up and the other goes down. Sex energy draws you to your root chakra. Spirit energy draws you to your crown chakra.
mm.
So you're
Okay.
running up two channels in your span, one on the left, one on the right,
Okay.
right? So when you are a man by nature, your goal is to be in tune spiritually, which is on your left side, where your severity is, you have to control it. Whereas the feminine, it's her compassion she got to control so she's not overly weak.
Mm, okay. I got you.
So it's all about finding the balance at the end of the day. The law of Mach, right?
That's
If you
what's
go
up.
to the Kabbalion and you look at the Hermetic principles, one of them is called the law of gender.
Mm,
The law of gender had to be, that's a contract. It's a contract that the women wrote in order for men to be here in the physical form. They had to create a gender opposite by description and by analysis. So while we going through all of these changes, the mitochondria is the over um, energy that's scanning Y chromosomes. This is
Wow.
why a woman can store genetic information from all the men she slept with, and when she get ready to produce a child, she can draw all of the best traits from all of those different DNAs to manifest in one man's child.
Wow. So you really don't even have to like conceive at that moment. You could just save it up. That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. So she's creating a genetic database. She's creating a genetic database. This is why young girls a lot of time be promiscuous, because they want to produce a certain type of man. So they collect genetic materials from varying different men, and then her mitochondria is naturally scanning every Y chromosome that she assimilates, and they store it in the Queen's chamber in the brain.
So, so that means that for any of us men out here, if we have a child with a woman with our sperm, there's still through her going to be the effects of all the men that she's been with.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah.
Wow.
That's why it was so much emphasis by the patriarchs put on a woman being a virgin at marriage, because they don't want any contributing DNA to their offspring. They only want their DNA.
Damn. So it's deeper than just people being worried about a body count. It's actual information that's going into her next birth,
Yeah,
regardless of what man does it.
yeah,
That's a key right there.
yeah.
But I don't want to take too much of your time up, man. I just wanted to chop it up with you, man, and I really do appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. Peace, God. Appreciate you coming up.
Okay. Well, namaste, man.
All right. I'm gonna take the next caller.
Yes, sir.
Check and make sure that this ain't you I'm inviting in. Hey, I like them dreads.
Hear me?
I can hear you now. You ain't walking around with no mask on, is you?
I said, I'm over here in this plant, bro. I work at GM. I'm in Michigan with you, man.
Is you? What
Yeah,
plant
for
you
real.
work at?
You said what?
What plant you work at?
I'm in the can plant. I don't want to say too much, but
Okay,
on the
well, let
location.
me do it like this. What's your local?
Hey, I'm representing the Vice Lords, bro. I'm here to say free Larry Hoover, man. That's what I got to say. And look, my question is this, bro. So a nigga who been on the feds list since I was 17, and I'm seeing what's going on in the world. You got people setting themselves on fire for Trump and shit, man. And if they don't elect them, this bitch going up, right? You know,
This,
as we move
I
towards the
don't think we're gonna
matriarch,
have. I don't think we're
as we
gonna
move,
have no elections.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. As we move towards the matriarch, it look like Joe Biden gonna die, Kamala gonna become president, and you know what I'm saying. But for that to happen, like I'm saying, like what's really gonna happen, like. Cause they gonna come get us first. So, you know, if it's martial law, the National Guard coming in or whatever, you feel me?
They coming.
They coming for sure. That's what
They
I'm.
they
You know, I'm.
already been assigned regiments to inner cities across the country. Some people, they had them in the subways a couple months ago in New York.
Yeah,
Um, so in
yeah,
certain places, they come. It's part of the continuity of government and the transfer of power from the corporation to the people.
right.
That's what the whole. So for those who don't know, when Biden had a colonoscopy in 2021,
Yeah,
he had to go through a doctor's examination, and Kamala Harris was assigned the presidency. Well, once he come from under anesthesia, he had to do what they call a psychological panel. And the
huh.
psychological panel would have revealed that he has Alzheimer's and dementia,
I can see
right?
that. You see that clear as day. He crazy. Yeah.
Look, that's all the act.
Yup.
But for the receipts, his son, it's an article I posted on my Facebook where his son was talking about them making fun of him in the Senate and the Congress for having dementia,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not the one that they got the computer from, another one of his sons. Anyway, that's so that they already got a built-in excuse to seat Kamala Harris as the president
Right. They had
because
it on the Simpsons, man. The Simpsons is really them motherfucking psychics, bro. They on some next level shit with that shit, but
look, the Simpsons is revealed through a playbook. It's a CIA operation. All of that stuff that look like prophecy, that's not prophecy. Those are plans.
yeah.
They got to
I see
tell
what
you
you're
what
saying.
they doing to you, and they can put it in any format that they want to put it in to keep you from figuring it out.
Yeah. They putting this shit right in our faces. That's why it's crazy because I'm just like, this gonna be the year where everything gonna come out, everything by the show. And you know, it's April 1st, really the new year. So it really just started going off the fake ass calendar they gave us. But this shit, you know, this shit getting real, man. I feel like that eclipse changed a lot of shit too. Like the energy been different. Everybody connecting back with nature. Everybody on they path, and it like it's showing on the planet. Like this shit showing. You can feel this shit when you walking around, and it's like, man, like I say, I'm in this plant. I just walked off. I don't give a fuck about this job, man. I came to talk to Chief Pontiac, man. But like, you feel me? On
For
Vice
sure, for
Lord,
sure.
man. This shit, I don't give a man, for real, for real.
Hey,
But
look,
I'm getting double time in this bitch, so I might as well, you know.
y'all still got 5 chiefs on the street.
Oh yeah. Willie still, Willie. I know his nephew, man. Willie has happy transcendence. They say he transcended. He was sitting in the hospital for damn years in a coma. I
He
don't know.
wasn't in the coma, he was paralyzed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all fucked up. He's sitting in that bitch for a minute. Feel me? His nephew got stabbed 9 times in the head. He's still good. That nigga, he was in the jails. But
I met
yeah,
Willie in the county when he got out of prison the first time, and
yeah,
then they violated him and they put him in ABO.
right,
I was in Division 1A1 and he was in ABO downstairs. Their visits had to take place on the rock I was on. So
yeah,
Vice Lord named he was a 4-star elite named Lil J. Uh,
mm-hmm.
Lil J introduced me to Willie Lord, and the day room was shook because like I'm folks.
They was in that bitch tweaking like,
Yeah,
damn, you can't just approach the
so
chief
they
like
like what
that. You gotta,
they like what the fuck, what kind of fuckery you on? Right.
yeah,
So but he had told me before he came up here, he said, man, I need you to meet my chief when he come up, man.
yeah.
And he said, you ain't got no problem with it. I was like, I ain't got no problem with meeting your
Hey,
chief.
you know
I
that
ain't
ain't
know he
my
was
chief
talking
though. I
about
go off
Willie
the teachings
Lord.
of Bobby Gore though. We going off the teachings of Bobby, but I fuck with Willie though. But you know this shit happened. That shit happened. He violated. Feel me? But a lot of shit happened. But we ain't gonna talk nation business on here. But this shit, man. I just want to say, free Larry, free Jeff, man. They really best friends. They ain't want to make that 7 point stop, bro. We was gonna take this bitch over. We was gonna
I,
take this bitch over for
hey,
real.
look, you know, Larry flipped from Main 21
Yes,
to
sir.
Disciple.
Yes, sir. He was a stone. We know. We know.
Right. He was the ambassador of the Stone.
Yes, sir.
And that's where the cold brick, this
Yes,
is where the
sir.
cold brick term
That's
comes from.
why
That's the
eight
Scorpio.
20 mo. Yeah, we know. We know the lingo, man. We know the lingo. Hey,
Yeah.
we coming together
It
though,
was
man. Free them
21,
chiefs.
but it's 20 more because one flip.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You the chief of the land right now. I'm in Michigan, bro. It'll be an honor to meet you, broski. I swear to God, that shit, man. Keep leading the people, man. You the voice, right? Today free. I feel like you the voice of this shit,
Well,
man. Chief Pontiac.
I ain't gonna shut up till we see him. So
Yeah. I'm gonna get back on this flow though, bro. Appreciate your time, man.
all the
Mighty.
time, man,
Yep.
stay up.
Yep.
I love it when the other tribes show love like that, because a lot of the tribes be speaking up for they chief, and they get offended because they figure you ain't from their tribe, you shouldn't be speaking up. But I feel like you should speak up for what's right just because it's right. Brianna, come on up here, girl. Let's see what you're talking about. No. Yeah, Bobby Gore is, he the one of the main organizers of the Vice Lords. Yeah. They got 5 chiefs, 5 kings on the street, and they bought. What's going on, Brianna? I can't see you. Can you hear me? So I'm gonna have to try to get her back in because they blocked her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to let the sister in, but they blocked her out.
Yeah, shit. If you want to put her in, regardless, fine, do what you gotta do. But yeah, I just had a few questions though. Peace to the
Peace,
gods.
God, peace, God. Come on with your questions. I tried to let her in Instagram on some other stuff. They only let in who they want in, I guess.
Yeah, you know how they be with that funny, man. Yeah, man. So what's going on, OG Rod? What's going on, man? What's going on in the world right now?
The takeover. We on the move to take this motherfucker back.
Yeah, yeah,
And it don't look like people think it should look, because they think we need to be in the streets doing a whole bunch of military shit and starting all kind of drama. But no. The brain banging is different than gang banging,
yeah,
right? So the challenge was that none of us was gonna figure the problem out.
right.
I figured the problem out, so I came and told the people.
So would you call it a great awakening right now for sure?
Yeah, it's in the process right now. We passed the event horizon now. We beyond the point of no return.
Okay,
Ain't
okay,
no going back from where we done came.
right,
And it's just a matter of time before we have the massive breakthrough. one
right.
of the things one of the things I had to look at was the situation with Malachi, because I already knew that they had fabricated paperwork in his case to say that he had herpes and chlamydia. But when I looked at his doctor records from all the way leading up to the time of the crime, he don't all his doctor visits, he was going um almost a couple times a year just for standard checks.
Uh-huh.
And he do a STD screen on him every since the 70s. So then they produced this document in the courts, but when he get to prison, they still tested him for STDs, and he have no traces of herpes or chlamydia because you have antibodies. That's what they test for when they test for a disease. And it's not possible for him to only have the diseases long enough to violate some children and then miraculously get rid of something that you say can't be gotten rid of.
So some
And
ain't adding up now.
right. So when I was looking at that, then I started looking at, okay, what's really going on here? Then I find out about the plot and meetings that was held with Sheriff Seals with one of Malachi's sons, and how this same son was instrumental in organizing the girls for the false allegations. The irony to that is they was all his ex-girlfriends and girlfriends. The
So
son.
how they orchestrate that? Would they put the payola on them, or they just would they threaten the son to put
So
him in or something, or how they orchestrate that, get the son to turn against him?
his son was all well, he named his son Jacob, so he knew something was up
Okay,
at birth.
Okay.
At birth, he knows something up. Now, his son fell out with Malachi because Malachi wouldn't finance a Lil' Kim video. He said that
Oh man.
Lil' Kim public persona and character go against what I teach.
Right.
So I can't put my money behind that.
Right.
And the son already blamed Malachi for his mother's death. I don't know how she died, but he feel like some kind of way Malachi was responsible.
Okay.
So he already um um got an issue with his father. And now
Exactly.
it all blew up when he wouldn't finance the Lil' Kim video, and that's when he orchestrated the sex allegations. Now, this is how it all come out about how he orchestrated it. The FBI had offered all of the witnesses gratuities or compensation in some form or another for their testimony.
Yeah.
Some of them, they promised money. Some of them, they promised like music careers, acting careers,
Okay.
putting them all on easy
Okay.
street.
Okay.
Once he was convicted, they didn't honor none of the stuff they told the people.
Made a deal with the devil. You know how that goes.
Right. So what ended up happening is they say if you don't pay up, we're gonna tell everybody about the whole plot. So they told him, go and tell him they ain't gonna believe you now. We got him in our media grip. So
Okay.
they came out with a recant and told him what the government told them they was gonna give him and how they reneged on the deals. And the only one that seemed to have gotten compensation from the government, from my understanding, was the son who orchestrated it all.
Okay.
Right. Now, once Malachi took off the scene, all of the other dirty players start being activated. They start forging his signatures on documents to steal what was his. They start mass printing his books, but they was only selling them through certain bookstores so that they could capitalize on the return on his intellectual property. So all the time he been in there fighting for his life, they been out here living high off the hog off his work.
Right. That's
But
foul.
we ain't supposed to say nothing because that's not my tribe. Bullshit.
Right.
I'm saying something.
Right. Ain't gonna let that brother go down like that.
Right.
After all the work he put in and all the
Look,
all the rightful knowledge he done put out. You know what I mean?
yeah. So it go back to what he said about Mandela in one of the scrolls that came out in the 90s. He said, they asked me, why did Mandela stay in prison 27 years? He said, because Mandela people let him stay in prison 27 years. But everybody think that mean that you have to get up, go get your gun, go down there and get him out. That's not what it means. Your people can block you from getting relief from the sources that can get you the relief when they don't mean you no earthly good. Don't nobody want Malachi blood on their hands.
Right. Nah, that's what it seemed like right now because they put them vicious charges on it to make it, you know what I mean? But, I mean, it's common sense if you just,
Well,
if you got common sense, all you got to do is use it. But don't nobody want to jump out there, though.
you got to remember why they use sex cases. The allegation is the key evidence. Physical evidence is rare in a lot of the sex cases.
Okay.
Mostly it's just that somebody said something.
Okay.
A lot of guys is doing prison terms because the woman felt like the sex wasn't good enough, so she cried rape. Or he ain't called her the next morning. That's what happened to Mike Tyson. When you go back and listen to the girl, she said she didn't get mad until the next morning when he ain't called her. He acted like she
in her feelings in so many words.
Right. So in the sex case, they got this judge named Judge Bornstein. He been a family court judge for 40 years. And he came out with a long report about how children was influenced to falsely accuse adults when the adult that's sending them want to get rid of the other adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that case opened my eyes. Then you got something called the McMartin trial, right? In the McMartin trial, they had these children saying that the McMartins was doing all this foul stuff to them and sodomized them with butcher knives and all kind of stuff, but they don't have no physical signs of trauma.
Wow.
And they played it in the news. The whole thing. They beat the case, but guess what happened? They was ruined.
Still had the not the allegations, but still had that on they, you know what I mean, right on them. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they know the public gonna look at that crazy, which
Yeah.
is understandable if it's true, but they don't understand how these people work in the background though.
Yeah. But they show you. They always give you a frame of reference where you can look at any situation. Like Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
when they say he was drugging them girls, we looking at it from a different cultural perspective, because in the days that Bill Cosby was accused of that, they would give women quaaludes to trick with them.
Right, and then look, OG, then at the same time, on top of what you saying, from my understanding and what I seen, like he was putting out how he was showing how that Hollywood view us for the most part. He put out like videos or whatnot showing how they view us. You know
when they pointed
just only as entertainers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
You know when they pointed they target on Cosby?
What was that?
Cosby was talking to Oprah about a statement that he said about the adults failing the children. And she asked him to clarify the statement. And he said, we supposed to educate ourselves out of this condition. And the parents is not teaching the children nothing.
Facts.
Right? He said they're not giving them no home training. They letting them run around wild in the streets with no upbringing. Right? And so
around what year was this, OG?
It's an interview. I forgot what year it was, but it was when he had the big scandal for saying about black parents need to be parents.
Okay. What was you saying though? I didn't mean to cut you off.
We forget Cosby single-handedly put more people through HBCUs than anybody else in the history of the nation. That's NBC was the beginning. That's what made him kill Ennis, to stop him from buying NBC. And instead of stopping him from buying, it made him double down and go harder. But they told him the next was going to be Camille, then it was going to be him. They threatened to bury him in his driveway when they pumping the oil from his property. I think it was in Connecticut or somewhere. They found oil under his property, and they wanted the oil, and he wouldn't sign the permit to allow them to drill on his property. There's a whole lot of stuff going on with Cosby besides. And then when you go listen to the panel, you can tell they reading the script. Then they ad-lib. Then they go back to the script, then they ad-lib. Because they can't give them all the same script from end to end. They got to improv the middle of it so it'll sound believable. They have to infuse it with some kind of personal experience. Cosby was tricking with them girls. If you go back to, they had this famous club in New York. I think it was like Club 106 or something.
Okay.
Or Studio 104, I think is what it was called. And you look at the culture, that's what was going on in the 70s. It was the powder cocaine.
Right.
It was quaaludes. It was uppers and downers. It was barbiturates. Go back to Scarface when he told her her womb, she took so many quaaludes, her womb is polluted and she can't make a baby. that was what the drug of choice was in Studio 54. That's right. So this was the culture back then. It's the same as right now. If an artist in the 80s was tricking with crackheads, giving them crack, and then all of a sudden they say he slipped a crack rock in their weed pipe.
Exactly. Okay.
Right.
That'll be something to the nature of right now, like the Molly and the Percocets and all that right now.
Right. So that was the different drug era, a different drug of choice.
Right.
Like most of us ain't never heard of crystal THC. We don't know what that is. It's methamphetamine.
Yeah, you just put me hip with that. I ain't know that's what they call it.
Mm-hmm. But it used to be so few and far between that the people that found it was able to put a nice markup on it, and then they was able to cut it just like cocaine. It's crystal meth. Crystal THC.
Yeah, that crystal meth, motherfucker.
Yeah.
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 Punish you.
When the crack era came out, they started manufacturing and they started calling it ice.
Exactly.
So our cultural memory of what changed in the culture allows a person to be victimized for something that was commonplace in a new era where it's not commonplace.
Run that back one more time, OG. What you say?
Okay, we not paying attention to the cultural developments. In the 70s, what was commonplace is not commonplace in the 2000s.
Facts.
We have different drugs of choice. So by the people in the 2000s that's just not getting the information, it looked different than it did to the people in the era.
Okay.
And that's why
exactly. That make perfect
that's
sense.
why they can manipulate the history to make it whatever they want it to be.
Okay. They play on it just like that, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Look, forget.
Go ahead, my bad.
We forget when Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC, they sold it for $1 billion cheaper to some Japanese to keep him from getting it.
Foul. They knew he was about to expose it. Or take it over.
Well, you got to go back to why he was trying to buy it. You got to go back to why he said he was trying to buy it. Because at the time, Viacom is trying to acquire BET. And while Viacom is putting pressure on Bob Johnson for BET, Bill Cosby said we need a mainstream outlet where we can control the media and the information that our people was getting through media. And they didn't want that.
Big facts. That would have put a big hinder in what they had going on for all these years. That would have borderline stopped it for real.
Yeah. So somebody say MJ tried to buy Marvel. The reason he ended up not getting it is because he left Sony with over 50% of the company with controlling interest.
Yeah, I heard about that.
As a free agent. In the business world, they all said, don't do business with Michael Jackson. And it was enforced by the JDL. The JDL was the ones that was giving Mike the death threats the whole time. The same ones that was giving Biggie death threats and Tupac. Right? If you go back to Biggie Life After Death album, he got a phone call at the beginning of one of his songs. And they said, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
and he was like, yo, you soft, dude, you soft.
Big fact.
He was reenacting the phone call he got from the Jewish Defense League.
Okay.
In Hollywood, they call them star whackers.
Hey, so look, you think that they get like the underground to do it, like the mob or something, and then just pay them off? Or you think
They
that
do.
they did one of
They
their own?
don't use. They don't use one method.
Okay, okay,
See, they try to paint a picture where most of them look like suicide,
okay, okay,
like David Carradine. David Carradine um, he had become a Buddhist monk, and he was starting to be uncomfortable with the conditions of Hollywood that went against his moral fiber, and he was about to start speaking up. So they had to silence him.
okay, okay. His third eye was coming wide open anyway, being as to what he was into.
Well, he had been um he Bruce Lee put him on his path with the David Carradine Kung Fu movie. That was supposed to have been the Bruce Lee story. Bruce Lee wrote the original pilot for that, and they
Oh man, you just
stole
put
it
me
from
hip.
him. They stole it from him, and they hired David Carradine because they didn't want no goops in the movie.
Oh man, okay, you just put me hip right there.
Yeah, they've been doing this for a long time. Hollywood was created by the 32 Degree Scottish Rite Freemasonic Lodge. But if you don't know the history of Hollywood, you're not gonna never know it. The first Hollywood parade is in black and white. They got a big double head eagle from the 32 Degree Scottish Rite Freemason as the centerpiece. We overlook that because we don't know what the symbol means.
Running back, you say it's a double eagle head?
Yeah,
Okay. And is they under which with the Jesuits, or they
they
right there
different order. They're a different
okay,
order. All these are different orders, but they all secret societies. But
okay,
The Pope is the be all, the end all until the emperors came,
okay.
because every secret society tied themselves together at the Vatican. All roads lead to Rome.
Is he a hybrid Draco, or he just regular? You know what I mean?
He a regular pale face, but what they do is they gotta send him through a lifetime of training to be the Pope.
Okay, okay. What they say about 40 years, right?
No, the average Pope is like 60 something.
Okay, okay.
And
So even
that's
longer than
probably
that.
how long they've been in the church, 40 years.
Okay,
But
okay.
they normally ain't no popes young. They older than the presidents
Right, right. Okay.
because they only want them to live on average of 10 years.
And I heard you say something about you don't think the election going down this year. Like I got my own little theory with that, but I want to hear, you know what I mean, from you, OG. Like,
All you
cause
gotta
I think
watch the
cause it's 8 this year, and now you know the finale be the Xfinity be number 9. Don't nothing go past that. So I figure like something really gonna set off next year for real, for real. Or it
next
might be
year.
the complete ending of
Look,
they mess next year.
um, Trump already announced the national Mardi Gras that I was talking about. He called it the 250-year um, independence celebration, and he already announced the World Fair I was talking about in the same speech, and he said that it's going to be in either Iowa or Idaho. I forgot which state, but he announced that's where they're going to be revealing a lot of technology
Okay.
that's been concealed from us. So, in order for us to be ready for that, certain stuff got to get done like immediately.
Right, right.
You know, so I'm just watching. If everything moving like I think I'm seeing it, we shouldn't see no election this year. And the campaign trail proved that. You've never had this deep into a campaign without knowing who one of the candidates going to be.
Mm,
The Democrat Party is totally undecided,
big facts. Big facts, right?
right? And you never had a presidential campaign trail that didn't start with at least 10 on each side.
Okay. Okay.
The Republicans started with 1 and the Democrat is still at 0. That's a binary code number for let the chief speak.
Okay. Mm. Hey, look, let me ask you this. Do you think any what role do the like do the Holy Bible and stuff like that? What role do the scriptures play at a time like this? You think they play a significant role, or what's your opinion on that, OG?
If you know how to read them, it's a star map that tell you when the stars is in a certain alignment what to look for on the ground.
Okay. 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 Yeah, all right then. Look, I gotta I appreciate you. Look, I would sit up here and ask you a bunch more questions. I gotta piss like a racehorse. We don't need
There ain't
people.
no problem, man. I gotta take a couple more calls before I end anyway.
You already know I appreciate you, OG. Hey, sending out love to everybody, man. Peace to the gods. You already know.
Peace to the guys. All right, I'll catch you later.
Better.
If y'all sent some requests in and I didn't get you up, can you resend them? Because Instagram decided to kick all my requests out. So I don't know who waiting to come in. Look, a man on fire is a code. Man on fire is a creasy bear. A creasy bear is a greasy bear. A greasy bear is a mechanic. And a mechanic is a grease monkey. And a grease monkey is one who work on cars. So it's code flipping. I just surprised that somebody wanted to flip a code bad enough to set themselves on fire, because I ain't trying to be froze like Tookie was, and I ain't trying to set myself on fire. So a man on ice become a soul on fire. It's a code. I don't know. He might have been a NPC, because he didn't look like he was having too much problem with going up in flames while he was burning. So if it's what I think it is, Crooked Man walking on the land. Okay, so Instagram kicked all of my requests out, and nobody else's requests are coming in. I'm gonna give people a couple minutes to send another one, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm getting a little fatigued now. He might have been a whole android, like Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg and Data from Star Trek, the same goddamn thing. That's why he don't age. I'm trying to, sweetie, but there's nothing in my request box. So Instagram kicked everybody out the request box because I know it was about 7 or 8 more people in there. Could have been a stunt man doing a stunt, but he sure didn't look like he was feeling no problem with that fire. Yeah, so I guess they figured I must have talked to enough people. Yeah, because I had requests in after I took the last guy up, and I go back to it, and the request is empty. Ryan Garcia just put hands on Haney. No, when I end this one, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go call it a night. I'm trying to wait to see if they let anybody else put in a request before I go, but so far ain't no requests. Oh, Trump canceled a rally. That's big news. Trump don't cancel no rallies. He like publicity too much. Sum up. And yesterday was the 19th. Today was the 20th. Going into the 21st now. Yeah, sum up. So well, the cloud seeding in Dubai is self-explanatory for those who understand heart. But this is all because they wrote about it in prophecy. All of those places, there is storms and earthquakes in diverse places. That's what they're talking about. So they use a they use technology in order to make prophecy manifest in real time. Right. So technology is the tool used in order to bring about the manifestation of what was said was prophecy. I don't call it prophecy. I just call it a plan that they followed to the letter. Look, the bunkers. That ain't nothing new. They started building the bunkers back in the 90s, trying to get ready for the disaster known as Y2K that turned out to be what I told people, nothing, right? So, um, they do have bunker buster bombs. People got to remember that. They got bunker busters. They used bunker busters to get at Hitler people in World War II. But we don't think they got more advanced, that they bombs can dig deeper before they explode than before. They look, they got all of them people out of Switzerland. They had a whole fortress built under the Swiss mountains, right? A whole city built under the mountains so that they could try to hide. They ain't no hiding. They can go in all the bunkers they want. Guess what? They know where all the bunkers at. They watch them build them from satellites, right? So if they watching them build them, they know who built them, they know where they built them at, and they know what to do to get at anybody in them bunkers. So don't fall for all of the rich people building bunkers, because they not gonna do them no good. Everything getting cleaned up in real time. It's just that we not aware of all of the activities that's taking place. Um, Inbox me, Callie, and I could see what I could do for you, sweetie. Yeah, so they still got it where nobody can't request to come in, and it's 1:42, so I'm like an hour and 40 minutes into this anyway. So I'm gonna wrap this one up. But just remember, almost all of the stuff we see on TV is a script. It's all planned, and it's all about to turn over, right? Watch the chain reaction. People y'all not going to expect is going to fall behind Diddy, because ain't none of these suckers getting out of here without paying for their dirt. I don't care whether they're a Rockefeller. I don't care if they're a Rothschild. I don't care if they're a Clinton. I don't care if they're Bush. They all of these international bankers and this money mafias, that's been controlling people with the economic hitmen. If once you understand how they work, all of the early outlaws, it's gonna make sense. Because we had big mama banks scattered all across the land. And in order to institute a central banking system, in order to institute a central banking system, they first have to destabilize the current system so that they can impose their system under their conditions, whether you want them to or not, because your system is under continuous attack. It's going to leave only one system functional, theirs. All of those banks they was robbing was big mama banks. Go back and study the history of money in America. Tribes from different parts of the land had their own currency when the settlers came. This is why the money had started out with eagle back and chief head and ended up with dead presidents, because it was the transfer of two systems. It was the old system. 0 0 is raised the matriarchy. 0 1 is let the chief speak. Yeah, I love phase one. He just had me misunderstood, but that brother, that's my dude. And that's why I never let nobody make me or try to soup me up to talk bad about him, because he wasn't doing nothing that I didn't expect for him to do. 0 0 raised the matriarchy. 0 1 let the chief speak. Thomas Sowell, the truth. We got a lot of them. Before Thomas Sowell, we had C.L.R. James from, I think he was from Barbados or Trinidad. And he is the author of what we know today as communism. He the one who wrote the doctrine that was fed to the Europeans in the Bolshevik revolutions of Russia. It was a lot of his information trickled over and became the blueprint for what we call the Black Power movement, right? It's a book by Leon Trotsky, called Black, I think it's called Black Self-Determination by Leon Trotsky or something similar. But Leon Trotsky got ran out of Russia when Lenin died and Stalin took power. He put a hit on Trotsky. They killed Trotsky in Mexico. But Trotsky was a good friend to C.L.R. James, and he used to go visit him, and they would talk political strategies for a new system. Karl Marx and all of them stole data, information from the writings of C.L.R. James. Karl Marx information is old tribal doctrine. He just reworked it to infuse it with Roman influence so that they could use it under the patriarchal systems of domination. And this is why communism, under its current conditions, it don't last longer than 50 years. It got a 50-year shelf life before it becomes non-functional. What most of us don't know is that the United States bankrolled the Soviet Union from the Bolshevik Revolution to the fall of the wall. If you go back and you pull up old what them books called, oh man, they got all the information in it, an almanac, and you look under each country in the almanac, you see every country how much money that America was using to bankroll them and their oppressive regimes. Yeah, from Trinidad. He was a thinker like us, like Sowell. Then you have a lot of extremism in perception to push the point across to our people, like Claude Anderson, right? Dr. Claude Anderson is focused on the economic uplift of people. And you got another brother, I think his name is, it's either Randall Robinson or Richard Robinson, wrote The Debt, What America, Oh Black America. And he's talking about the economic um, stability of a people as well. But what we don't know that if we take back our stuff, there's nobody to give us reparations, because all of the financial illusions crumble because they don't have the right to our mineral wealth into the land. But as long as we don't know it, then they assert a jurisdiction over the nationals. They don't have jurisdictions over the sovereigns, only the nationals. Only if you have a nationality do the corporation have jurisdictional supremacy to your claim of right. If you're standing in the position in your sovereign capacity, then your sovereign capacity is higher than your national status. So as a sovereign, you get to dictate how nationals are dealt with on your sovereign land, and you're exercising your sovereign right. Yeah, Randall Robinson, The Debt, What America Owed to Blacks. Yeah. So we have the information to uplift ourselves. We got Blueprint for Black Power by Amos N. Wilson, right? We got other people that's talking about education. Amos Wilson is a clinical psychiatrist, psychologist, and he wrote the Awakening the Natural Genius of the Black Child, the psychological development of the Black child. Then you have Haki Madhubuti, right? The conspiracy to destroy Black boys. And you got Nathan and Julia Hare, R.I.P. brother Nathan. But Julia Hare is still pushing the education from miseducation to education with the books and the work that her and her husband been doing for years in our community. One of the things about us is we only want to take the people who we like and discard the rest, but they all come in with pieces to put the puzzle back together. And if you start disregarding some because you don't like them, you cut out a major portion of the tools you need to build. Neely Fuller wrote you the defense manual to the Conjure War. It's a chess game played out in the human arena using people as the pieces. And the breaking the chains of white supremacy is overcoming the free white persons in law attack on those priesthoods known as the Black priests or the stealthy priests, that those old Mississippians, the Black Wolf Clan, the Black Bear Clan, the Black Hawk Clan, the Black Eagle Clan, the Black Gorilla Clan. All of these is root tribal totems, right? And they were the ones who took up the defensive position, but nobody had written a comprehensive manual to fight this doctrine known as white supremacy, aka the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, in conjunction with the Morals and Dogma of Albert Pike, that got us in this condition after the George Washington challenge in the Constitution that was written in the blood of Crispus Attucks in order to subjugate us for 200 years. We won, they lost, they butt sore, and we ain't giving two shits. And that's just how it is. Yeah, he was Bobby E. Wright, Psychopathic Racial Personality. If you want to understand the psychological makeup of your enemy, get Bobby E. Wright, Psychopathic Racial Personality, and then read The Iceman Inheritance. When you put the two together, then you got a good understanding of How come these people couldn't overcome no gods? You can't overcome no god and you a cave dweller and the guys are Skywalkers. Unless you got some Skywalkers that's supporting your fight and putting you in positions of power so that those Skywalkers can look untouchable. You can't find them. They hid in Switzerland, under mountains, in caves, living their life, living their best life. While they got they cronies over here watching us suffer up close and personal. Right? Right? So it's all there. They all gave some. I just put it all together and told y'all what I see from a different angle of looking at the problem. So I hope I was able to give y'all some valuable information in these last 4 hours. But as of now, I'm done. I'm pooped. I'm out. Right? So let the chief speak, raise the matriarchs, and we're gonna make it do what it do. I'll be on Brother Sonetter sometime tomorrow evening. I'm not sure the time. He gonna let me know in the morning. So Sonetter TV, I think is what it's called on YouTube. All right, since they won't let nobody else request to join, I'm gonna wrap it up now. 219 viewers. So peace out.